Your past is not who you are. It is a part of your story. But if you let it define who you are, it will take from your future because the past only steals from the future.
You wanna be a boss today.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the BILF, where authenticity trumps authority. I am so excited about today's guest. But first, for those of you that are tuning in, my name is Mara Dorne. And yes, you are watching the BILF. Now, I bet you're wondering what that stands for. And it means boss I'd like to follow. So for today, I am, like I said, super excited about today's guest. She is an esteemed top seller, top author, top speaker. I mean, this chick is bad. For those of you that are out there that are kind of on the fence, you know, should I be an entrepreneur? What about if I'm a mom? Can I juggle it? I mean, can I still be sexy and hot and still have $1 million business? You absolutely can. And it is with great pleasure that I get to introduce my friend, my girl. She is amazing, Miss Natasha Graziano, who of course needs no intro at all.
Woo, love you. Thank you for having me.
I am so excited that you're on here. But I have to tell you this. I don't know if you know this. I think I told you this in passing. So you know how you script? You know you do the scripting and manifesting? So I manifested you.
What?
I'm not kidding. Did I tell you this?
No, every person I've ever worked with has said, I scripted you into my life. Like when they meet me at an event, they're like, I scripted meeting you in this moment.
I'm not kidding. I
Wait,
really
tell
did.
me.
I never told you this.
No, tell me.
Okay, the true story. So 2 years ago, my friend Leandro came to me, said, I think you should publicly speak, but I want you to come to Chicago and I want you to come to Aspire. You're on Aspire tour. So he was like, you have to see this girl, Natasha Graziano. I'm telling you, you're going to resonate with her. So I go there, reluctant, by myself, which is like, I don't really like to do anything by myself, but I went, sat in the audience, and I watched you. And I'm like, oh my God. And I see you inspiring, you're super passionate. And I walk away and he's like, so what'd you think? I'm like, listen, this chick is bad. She's amazing. Like, this is it. And after I came back and I decided that I wanted to positively inspire people. And then as we were doing this, he was like, I want you to write down like your top 10 people that you want to meet. And you were on my list of top 10 people. How crazy is that?
But girl, I love that.
It's kind of creepy.
No, it's not. It's like you
creepy.
just decide what you want. It's the same with anything in life. Like, you know, even everything that you and I do together, we decide exactly what we want to do.
Yeah.
And we decide when we want to do it by. And you took action. You went and got around the right people. You're an average of the 5 people you spend time with. So you went, I want to level up. I want to be in this industry. So let me be around people in this industry. And off you did. You showed up. You went and watched and you went, that's what I want to be.
Yeah. And then what? Like 2 years later, I go on your podcast. We hit it off. And then, you know, we've been girls ever since. But you know what intrigues me the most about you that really resonates with me is that we're both moms. Yeah. And I don't ever hear you talk about it. I know you did TEDx. I mean, you've done all these amazing things. But I think for me, the most amazing thing in just watching you the other day is watching you be a mom. And watching you also be a businesswoman and juggle, you know, everything that you have going on. And so for people out there that are kind of on the fence, because I struggle with this, like, you know, I know you're looking and super cute. And I'm sure like, you know, you have those haters out there that people say stuff. So I want to know, like, how do you juggle looking good, feeling good, performing good, and still being a mom and everything else that you do?
So, you know, it's life. You just wake up one day and you decide, okay, I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
And that day is the best day of your life because today I decided I'm going to be 1% better. I'm going to be 1% better. I'm going to be 1% better. And I'm going to be the best mom when I'm a mom. And I'm going to be the most amazing speaker when I'm a speaker. I'm going to be the most amazing businesswoman when I'm a businesswoman. And all of that stuff makes me feel good. When I show up every day and I'm like, you know, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make food for my kids. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to go and do this, or I'm going to go out and go on stage, or I'm going to go to my podcast. I just show up, show up, show up. Because if I show down, who else is doing it for me?
Yeah.
No one else is paying my bills, and nobody else is gonna bring that food to the table in the way that I can. I don't literally mean the food. I mean the foods of life.
Yeah.
Like if I wanna be the best of who I am, I need to show up as the best of who I am, because I'm never gonna be second place to Oprah, second place to anyone out there, or second place to the most amazing stay-at-home mom. So I got to be Natasha Graziano, who is the best mama she can be. She's the best businesswoman that she can be. And she shows up every single day. And I just balance it. I'm like, when I'm with my kids, I'm off my phone. I put this away and I'm like, get off the phone. So I'm like, not going to be on the phone when I'm with my kids. That's their time, right?
Yeah.
In the evening between 4 and
So it's
8.
intentional. It's super, everything you do is intentional. Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah. But how do you, I think the biggest thing, we have things that are going on in our life all the time, but you know how to turn it on and turn it off. So how do you kind of just, everything that's going on over here, how do you just kind of keep that over here? And then you said you show up. I mean, you do, no matter what's going on in your life, you're smiling for everybody else. How are you able to do that? So many people struggle because I know like for the agents that come in here, we tell them whatever's going on the outside, you got to leave it there. But you really do that. You leave whatever's going on over here and you show up. And when it's time to be mom, you're an amazing mom. When it's time to be Natasha Graziano, how do you do that?
So, okay, there's 2 things I do. One, I compartmentalize everything. I was talking about this yesterday. When you're going through some kind of like challenge in your life, you have to decide, okay, am I going to let that challenge swamp 86,400 seconds of or minutes of my day? No, wait, is it minutes or seconds in a day? I've got that wrong. 86,400 seconds in a day.
524.
Right, okay,
Yeah,
in your
seconds.
day. Or are you going to choose, I'm going to let 60 seconds of that or 2 minutes of that or 1 hour of that be absorbed by that problem? So I compartmentalize it. Okay, now I'm going to allow my brain, because it wants to go there, to go into that problem, into that challenge. And it's going to work on it in my brain. I'm going to sit and deal with it. And I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to whine to my friend or call my mom. And I'm going to go through that problem. The rest of the hours in the day, I don't have time to be sitting and dealing with that problem. So I tell that problem, I'm going to put you in a chest. And I literally put that chest to the side and I do it up. And I'm like, I'll come back to you later. Now I have to focus on this. I do not have time to be there because that is the mundane. That's the lower frequency shit. I resonate on such a high frequency that is how I show up every day. So that leads me into the second thing that I do. I choose happiness. I choose to smile and be in my best every day. I don't sit there and go, I feel so bad today, because bad attracts bad. It's the law of attraction. Right? That's what my entire podcast is on, the law of attraction. Whether you like it, know it, believe it or not, it is happening.
So true.
If I'm in a positive mindset and I'm choosing happiness, and it is a choice, believe me.
Say that again, because people don't think that. People think that it's just something you choose. That is a controllable that you can choose.
Choose happiness.
I love that.
Every day, you're going to decide, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be happy. I choose happiness because guess what? I live in LA where all the fires are right now. Do you know how hard it is to show up and smile during that? But I do, because I'm alive. Somebody else didn't make it.
It's true.
Do you know what else is happening in the world right now? All of this stuff could bring us down. It could make us feel so bad about ourselves, but I choose to be happy. It is a choice. People think, oh, when I have money, then I'll be happy. Oh, when I have those clothes, then I'll be happy. Oh, when I'm making, X amount of money a day, I'll be happy. No. It's the people who are happy that make the money.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true. But the thing that I love about you the most is I do know a lot about your past. But I love that you've used your past not to define your future, but you use it as a building block. You're right, as a choice. Like you could dwell. We all could look. Things happen to all of us. We all have tragedies. We all have things that have happened to us. But what I love is that you own it. I love that you're authentic. Yep, this did happen. But you've taken it. You've used it, manifested, scripted, and you created this empire for yourself. And I think a lot of people have a lot of trouble doing that. And you said that it's decompartmentalizing that, things do happen. They do. They happen to all of us, but it is a choice to be happy. So regardless of what's happened in your past, because things happen to all of us, how have you used that to shape your future?
Your past does not define you.
I love it. Yes.
Your past is not who you are. It is a part of your story. But if you let it define who you are, it will take from your future, because the past only steals from the future. You have to say, past, you're going to stay there. I'm going to live in this present moment, and I'm going to use that as a part of my story. It's like people who've been incarcerated. What, they're going to sit on their ass the rest of their life and cry about it? No, they're going to own who they were, and they're going to go, that's who I was. But I say to people, if you don't know who I am today, I feel so bad for you that you don't get the privilege of knowing who I am today. Because honey, I'm not even the same person I was a year ago, let alone 10 years ago when I was a webcam girl. Who I am today is 10 years advanced from where I was.
I love how authentic you are. I love that you own it and you don't try to hide it. And so many times we become victims of society and what society thinks is right. And I love that you've taken that. You're honest, you're authentic, you own it. You say it just like I know you personally, so you really do say whatever comes out of your mouth. But I want to know, as a businesswoman, everybody has a defining moment in their life where they make a choice, because it's a choice. When did you make that choice that this is it for me? I'm going to either go big or go home. And when did you, what was that defining moment where you were like, I'm turning this all around and I am going to create this Natasha Graziano empire? When was that for you?
So I was standing in front of a mirror. And it was the darkest point of my life. I will never forget this day.
Yeah.
And I was ill. I had an illness. I had been almost bedbound for a year, like on and off. It was terrible. I was in hundreds of thousands of debt. And I was a single mom. The illness by far was the worst point. Because when you don't have money, okay, you can't do certain things and you might be depressed. But now let's add in an illness that takes your sparkle from you. Can you imagine a version of you wasn't you, that was like shriveled and could barely do anything? It was so dark. And so in that point, I remember standing in front of that mirror, tears streaming down my face, and I was listening to Denzel Washington on headphones. And I was looking at my son and I was like, I just want to be better. And the words of Denzel Washington's speech started to preach into my soul. They started to lift me up. They started to make me know that I was going to get out of there and that pain was just temporary, and that what I was going through, it didn't define who I was going to be. It didn't dictate where I was going. And I started to preach life over myself, and I started to believe that I was going to get out of it. I started to believe in my healing. I started to believe in the fact that I was going to change my life. And I said, I'm going to get out of this illness. I'm going to be okay again. And I'm going to get back to point zero. And then I went, no, I'm going to be better than zero. I'm going to be better than I've ever been. And then these words came into my head and it was so clear. And it was the first ever time that I really heard the higher power, God's voice, if you want. And it said, Natasha, you're going to be a motivational speaker. And I was like, me, a motivational speaker? I can barely even talk, let alone use my voice on stage in front of people. And guess what? The second biggest fear, proven, if you read in all the studies, is public speaking. At the time, that was one of my fears. And I was like, there's no way. Okay, right? This is like 2017-ish. I was like, there's no way. Wow. I was like, there's no way that this is going to happen. And after that, I was like, okay, no, I have to stick to this somehow. So I started to study and I started to watch and I started to inquire about who the biggest speakers were in the world. I didn't even know this industry. I didn't even know that there was this whole world of conferences where people go and speak on stages. Then I started to read and I picked up all my self-development books that I had in my library from my mom's home. And I started to look at who I was going to be. And it was very different from reading magazines every day and talking shit and shopping. And I was like, no, this is not who I want to be anymore. I want to be something different. So I started to create a new version of me. And there and then was born Natasha Graziano.
I love it. I love it. And so many people are afraid to do that, to rebuild. I think I've rebuilt so many different times.
Right.
But every time you just get better at what you're doing.
Every time.
Right?
We always improve and we become a bigger and better version of us. Because every day you get a choice of who you want to be.
Yeah.
Life is a movie. You choose your character and you write your script. Who do you want to be today? If you don't like who you were yesterday, switch, become somebody else today. You want to show up and be the #1 sales rep in your company? Then you've got to be like, what is the best person like? So what is Mara like? How did Mara build this $1 billion business? How did she create this?
Yeah.
Okay, so she did this, she did this, she did this. Okay, so what do I need to do? Well, I can't show up moaning. Well, I can't show up late. Well, I can't not show up at all. I need to show the fuck up every day. And I need to wake up and be on and ready and look for opportunities so I can become the biggest sales rep, because nobody is doing it for you.
It's so true. And that's what it is. People always think that something big, like there's this moment of like where it's going to be a handout, but nobody is going to show up. And I think as women, we have it a lot harder. You know, I love my man. I always say that. But the truth is we have the lower hand. We don't have the upper hand in any of this. And no one because I've been a single mom too, no one's coming to help. Nobody. You know, it's you. It's 100%. But I love what you said, that one of your insecurities or something that you were scared of was to publicly speak. Now, for me, like one part of this show is talking about being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And, it's getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I want to know, because you are so confident. I mean, literally, I walk around with you. Look, you're you're like,
Oh no, I can sense a
love
camera
it.
from a mile off. Like, I'm done with those days where you have to get your agent to call the fucking publication and be like, what the fuck is that picture? Sorry, I'm cussing.
I love your confidence. I love it. I love it. But
That's what I
we
teach.
all have something that makes us uncomfortable. So dig deep. What is something, or maybe something that made you uncomfortable that you overcame, or something? What is something that makes you uncomfortable?
Ooh.
Like for me, I won't go to a bar and sit by myself. That's uncomfortable. I will not go to a restaurant ever, or go like in an airport and go to the airport bar. I just won't do it.
Oh, okay. Showing up sounds really cringe. I don't even want to use it. It's so embarrassing. I will not show up to an event without my entourage. Like at this point in my life.
I get it. I don't like to go anywhere where I don't know people.
Not show up to something without my people, but it's not actually for a fear. It's fear that my slides won't be put on by my people.
No, I
Like,
get it.
It's fear that I won't be able to serve the people that want pictures with me because there's another queue of 100 people waiting. So somebody needs to be dealing with that. It's the fear that someone's gonna fucking grab me and swallow me up in their hug, some big fat guy, and God bless him, but like, you're gonna swallow me up. And like, how am I gonna get out of that hug?
But if you had to show up alone, would you do it? If you had to, would you do it?
Yes, and I have had that happen, and it was just so hard. Like I don't like that. But other things that I'm really scared of. Well, I overcame the fear of needles. I don't like needles.
You don't?
No, but I had to overcome it because I had to prove to myself to be able to talk about this topic of overcoming fear. Let me go a bit deeper on this.
So what'd you do? Wait, so if you don't like needles, you have to do blood work, for physical.
So I had a real phobia of them, and I just learned how to overcome it through overcoming phobia using the breath, using my meditational behavioral synchronicity, the MBS method that I created, which is rooted in neuroscience, based in breathing and meditation. And you put it all together, and it's a kind of style of meditation. And that enabled me to breathe into it. And every time the needle would come, I'd be like, it's okay. And you're going to feel a prick. No different to when I was able somehow to get Botox. So if I was able to do Botox, which was a needle, then how on earth was I not able to do blood work? So then I started to overcome it slowly. And then I started to evolve and stop the fainting. And then, there's a lot of things that I've overcome. But let me explain why. Fear is just false evidence appearing real.
I love it. Say it again.
Fear is false evidence appearing real. It's not real. It is your mind creating it. So you can decide if you're going to allow that fear to swamp you, or are you going to find a way to overcome it like you overcame something else. I guarantee you've overcome another fear in your life. Bungee jumping. I have my feet tied and jumped off the O2 Arena in the UK.
Well, I don't know if I would do that.
Right.
I don't know.
And
That's a
that
lot.
was terrifying.
You're on
but
another level.
I
don't think I
did
could do
that because I needed to overcome another fear when I was younger. I did it when I was like 18 and filmed on live TV. But I needed to do that. So here we are again with another phobia, another fear that I need to overcome. And when I first went on stage, I also was like, whoa, this is really different from being in,
What was that
an enclosed
experience like
space.
the first time? So you're already kind of nervous. What was that like?
I mean, your palms are sweating, you're breathing heavy, and you're just so nervous, and you don't know if you're going to lose your words or what you're going to say. And you don't know what your voice is because you haven't overcome that fear. So I learned to transcend the fear of public speaking into excitement. So when I go on stage, even if I get a little bit butterfly now, and I love getting butterflies now, so I've been on hundreds of stages at this point. I speak to 25,000 people. I headline 20,000, 25,000, 10,000 person venues. And it's amazing when I do it. But I have to turn that butterflyness into excitement. So when the butterflies come, I'm like, no, I'm just ready and I'm fired up and I'm pumped and I'm going to fire it out at the audience. And
that's what you do. That's what you do I've seen you speak. I love that. But what do you do to turn off? Like for people, I mean, for me, I need some time. I need some time to just kind of refocus, regenerate. So what do you do to just kind of, you talked about meditation. Is that something that you do or?
I go offline. I go on voice rest. If you meet me in between two events that are close together, you would be like, are you okay? I'm like, no, babe, I'm amazing. I'm staying in my thoughts. Beyonce calls it voice rest. Like, I just turn her off. I turn Natasha Graziano off and I just become Natasha. And I'm just me. And I'm quiet in between. But normally I'm a super bubbly person like this every day. So you're always going to see this side of me. But when I'm going to switch off in between things, I'm going to be like, but then I won't see people for a couple of days. I won't see people for a week. I just got back from the UK. I was in the countryside for 1 month.
That's
1
a long
month,
time.
no makeup. I did a whole press tour for the first week, and then I had 3.5 weeks of not silence, but I was with my family, or I was in a cabin, and I was meditating, and I was walking in nature, and I was eating home-cooked meals, and then eating fresh fruit and vegetables, and picking potatoes out of the garden, and just like, ice-cold baths and shit. I was in my peace, and I do that annually.
That.
I do many things like that to switch off. I meditate every morning. I journal every night.
You meditate every morning and journal?
Every morning. I don't journal every morning because I wish I had time, but I have a newborn baby. Yeah. So the baby comes in or she's already with me, whatever. So yeah, it can be different. But I essentially meditate every day, at least 5 days a week.
For how long? You just turn off?
10, 15 minutes. And I just do a relaxation meditation, or I do a visualization meditation, or I do something by Joe Dispenza. I mean, I've created meditations myself, so I usually have something I'm working towards that I want to train into my brain. I want to plan in my subconscious mind. You know what I mean? So yeah, I listen to meditations morning and night.
I love that. All right. So as we're wrapping up, I do have some questions. Okay. So you're going to answer them. So I have a daughter, right? And I want to know one thing that I want to know, and I struggle with this, right? There's so many haters out there. People love to talk and give unsolicited advice all the time. Mm-hmm. And now you have a daughter, right? You have a 4-month-old little girl. 4, right? 4 months?
Yeah.
Beautiful little girl. And one thing that I struggle with is not listening, but you hear it. You definitely hear the naysayers. And you talked about Botox and using that in vanity. I want to know your point on that. And now that you have a daughter, what do you feel about Botox and looking good? Because you're a hot mom. So what's your thought on that?
Get hotter.
I love it. Right?
Nothing
Why
else.
not?
Just look your best every day, whatever makes you feel good, whether that's having surgery, whether that's being natural, whether that's whatever it is. Just look after you and get hotter from the inside out. Look after your insides, supplements, go to exercise, take care of your mental, do everything that takes care of you to get better in your way, which ultimately makes you hotter. And that's Botox is Botox.
It's so true. I mean, that's exactly how I feel. I feel like when you feel good on the inside and you feel good on the outside, you're only going to do good on the inside and do good on the outside. Yeah. In order for me to be a good mom, I have to look good. It's part of it.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, we could try to pretend all we want that it's true though. Vanity is part of it because when you look good, you feel good. And when 100%. You feel good, you do good.
100%.
And but there's a lot of people, look, I'm sure you get it too. People have so much to say about it. The way that we look, and you're a mom, and what does your daughter think about it? And honestly, my answer is my daughter, I know because she's sitting over there. She's looking like my mom is one bad bitch.
Yeah.
And that's how I want her to think. She's so embarrassed, 17, but that's what I want her to know that. I want her to know that your true authentic self is what you want. It doesn't matter what everybody else thinks. That does not matter. If it makes you feel good, I mean, she's 17, she doesn't need Botox, but if that's what made her feel good in 10, 15 years, then
no, I love it. I love
whatever.
It. Own it.
Doesn't
it's
matter.
Really funny. I was standing in a field, like literally a giant field with cows 4 days ago in the UK, in the middle of Oxfordshire.
I can't even see you doing this with cows.
With cows. I was wearing like my mum's walking boots, like a baggy tracksuit, like
I can't picture it.
Right? Nobody knows me. It's like 80, 90-year-olds in this village, like 20 houses. It's like a cul-de-sac. It's amazing. My neighbors were sheep and cows. Anyway, and I'm standing there and there's a playground inside of it. So it's like these old, which were there since I was a kid because I grew up there, like these wooden little things, right? That you'd stand on, these little platforms. And I went onto one and I stood on it and my son was playing in the field. My baby was in her stroller next to me and I'm standing there and I start practicing my speech that I'm going on stage today doing here in Orlando at Podfest. And I start doing it. And my son's like, Mom, what are you doing? And I'm like, honey, there's nobody for 4 miles around us. I'm just going to do my speech as loud as I can to reach the back of that field. And he's like, wait, Mom, you're really embarrassing me. I'm like, embarrassing what? Nobody's here, sweetheart. He's like, Mommy, please stop. Your voice is so loud. I'm like, yep, It is. And I carried on. Like, that is what embarrasses my son, is when I do my speeches in the middle of a field.
Well, just wait till they get older because I have rules. There's certain rules
Oh,
that
really?
I have rules that I have to abide by.
Wait, like what? Give me one.
Oh, what is one rule? I'm not allowed to talk. I'm usually not allowed to talk if the friends come.
Wait, but you're the coolest mom ever.
No,
Isn't she the coolest mom? She's like cool, beautiful.
Embarrassing. They're embarrassed.
Why?
I'm not allowed to pull up to school with the rolls. That's absolutely
No
off. No,
way.
nope, can't do that. My
Wait, what do you want her to pull up in? Like a bicycle?
yeah, she does, and my boobs have to be covered at all
I
times.
get the boob thing because they feel like they want us to be, oh my God, you're so cute. She's like, don't do it.
these are
You know
rules.
what?
I have
For me,
set
I'm like,
rules.
no. My son's like, Mom, only pull up with a private jet when I take my friend away on holiday next time. I'm like, okay, sweetheart. My son is crazy funny,
No,
like the opposite.
My kids don't think that's cool. They don't. I'm not allowed. There's no drinking in front of them because I'm embarrassing. I say embarrassing things. I mean, I'm just embarrassed. I'm an embarrassment, I guess, to them.
No, you're not. You're the coolest
I embarrass.
mom.
No, I embarrass. Just wait till your son gets older. You're gonna have
No,
rules. Yeah,
babe.
You're
I
gonna
mean,
have rules.
he's so funny. My son's just like, we were on the plane and like, it wasn't private. Obviously, we don't fly to the UK private. We have, but I don't encourage that right now. Like, I just don't. Who wants to freaking pay that compared to what I can do for a first class flight? Anyway, we're in this cabin, but we happened to be sitting in somebody else's cabin, and this couple was like, I think one of us is in that cabin. And I was like, you can sit next to my baby if you want. My son was like, these are our first class seats. And I was like, no. I was like, you are going economy. So I booked him an economy flight for his next flight because he needs to learn. Do you know
That
how
I
much
agree.
that
I agree with.
costs to get here? So you're going economy for the next 5 years while you learn how much your mom works to be able to do this.
Yes, this I agree with. I do think that the kids need
So
to be
now I
humbled.
will show him embarrassment.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. Next time you fly, you're going to economy, Lily. Bye-bye. Economy for you all the time.
No, I'm
That's
done
what it
because
is.
Rio's like, I mean, just the way he's just hilarious. No, my son's really grateful, but I just have to teach him some lessons, and I don't believe in spoiling them like that. When he flies to the UK, he's chaperoned with his nanny, and he goes and they go economy. That's
I love it. No, I
had
love
to show
it. You
him.
have to show them. I do. Like, regardless of what they see, I do believe that they need to be humbled. I didn't come from money. Did you come from money? I did not.
Came from it, and then we didn't have it. So
Yeah.
we didn't. So we
So
went through this horrendous, it was a real
The kids have to
switch.
know. But as we wrap up, there's people watching right now that are kind of on the fence, or maybe they're just at their lowest point. Like, what advice would you give somebody that is at their lowest point in life and they just want to turn things around, but they can't?
The best advice I can give you is to do 1% better every day and one goal. So if you are stuck and you're like, I just can't face life right now, I feel dark, or you're looking around, you're like, you don't have the money you want, you're out of reality. Well, you first have to look at who you are. And when you start looking at who you are and your character, and you start working out who you are inside, all of a sudden you're going to go, I've got to change some things if I want to see a change in my reality, because if I keep doing what I always did, I'll always get what I always got. So I've got to do 1% better every day, like I did. I've got to do one goal every day. That's 365 goals a year. You can get out of that rut.
I love that.
Just one goal. You want a podcast? All right, go and think about the title of the podcast today. One goal done.
Small goal.
Tomorrow, the first 4 episodes, what will the titles be? Do you need titles for it, or just going to wrap it off? Okay, you're going to have guests on your show. Who are they going to be? That's day 3. By day 30, honey, your podcast is filmed.
I love it. It's just a small little win every single day, just a little win. Even if it's making your bed, it's a win.
Yes.
I love that. I absolutely love that. But listen, I know you, but tell everybody else where they can find you. I mean, if this chick is not bad and you are not contacting her and joining her and following her and using her and utilizing her, I don't know what you're doing. Tell everybody where they can find you.
So everyone, social media, Natasha Graziano, just type my name into Google, into TikTok, into Instagram's the big one. I would say I love replying to your DMs. So do send me a DM and I'll get back to you with resources of things that might help you as well for free. I love replying to people in my DM. So just my name, Natasha Graziano, everywhere. You'll find me everywhere.
And what's next for Natasha?
Well, I have this tour this year. I'm on, at the moment, around 20 stages. So I have an incredible year of going out there and really just diving into people's souls, incredible business conferences. I would like to open my own, which is where we're getting to, my own place. And we don't know the word for it yet, like a sanctuary, but not. It's very big. It's like a place that you do every Saturday morning. And it's like a place where people can come and watch you speak live, and just, it's like a a motivational experience every weekend.
Like instead of being on instead of doing like your scripting or getting on Zoom, they get to come in person.
I still do my scripting society because my scripting society is a membership and people that's changed their lives. I coach them live every week. This is an addition. This is in person and it will stream out to millions of people. I love that.
Interactive people can come and really get, because like they feel you when you're there. I love it.
That's like one of the big goals for 25. So we already have the location. We have my theater we film in, 2,000 person. It will stream to like 25 million people. That's on my platforms, let alone where we'll go with the show or where we sign it to. So
wow.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, a true BILF sitting right here. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for joining us, especially me. I love you, girl. You really are the true definition of a BILF.
Thank you for having me. Love you.
You wanna be a boss today.